Hey guys, Lizardlea here for day 5 of 4 Heavenly Beasts, the Heaven and Earth design. I am slowly getting through the first page. Also, everybody was telling me to use, what was it? Stitch Tracker? Or Patterns? Something. And it's only on, like, Android. Or like everything I have is Apple, and it wouldn't work on them. So I'm sticking with the old highlighter method for the moment. I mean, I want to use it though. Like I looked it up and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. And then it told me I couldn't download it. So I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and get to stitching. I'm excited.
Alrighty, so the next question is, what do you hope never changes? This is a very open-ended question that can lead to a lot of different types of answers, some more interesting than others. It all depends on what type or what direction they want to take it. What do you hope never changes?
The amount of hours in a day.
I would like it to become more hours in a day.
Yeah, I just spend more time at work then.
No. See, it has to go with the addendum that hours, weeks are still the same, like 40.
I see.
Mm-hmm. I want my eyesight to never change unless it gets better. I could do with it being better, but
I see.
more likely than not, it would get worse. So, I would like my eyes to never change. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, alright. I've got like, it's an odd question. I don't have anything
It
like
is.
super
Yeah.
relevant.
What's your dream car? Mine is blue, 4 doors, and reliable, which I just got last Saturday. I bought a 2020 Toyota Camry.
Yes, dear.
And it's blue.
Yes, dear.
I don't think it's the prettiest car I've ever seen, but I don't know what the prettiest car I've ever seen is, because I don't really care about cars.
And what features does your car have?
I have not had the chance to read the owner's manual yet.
What features are you aware of?
So currently, I have a rear view camera. Is it actually called a rear view camera? A back camera? Like, I can see when I'm backing up. When I use my cruise control, it senses the car ahead of me. So, like, if I'm going 65 and then traffic slows down to 45, my car will just slow down to 45. And then if traffic picks up again, it will speed back up to 65. Which is just ridiculous to me. Like, what? I now have auto lights, so they come on depending on how dark or bright it is outside to whatever level they need to be, which is amazing. The Bluetooth is working on it very nicely. I was able, when I called you the second time, I did it on the touchscreen on my car.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. I pulled up contacts, and I clicked DJ, and I clicked call, and then it went straight through to you. Didn't have to use my phone at all.
Nifty.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I connected it with the Bluetooth and all that, so. I have a bajillion different ways to, like, charge things, plug things in. I have so many buttons that I don't know what they're for. In my defense, I did not get the owner's manual the day I bought the car. I got it 2 days later when I was like, hey, I want my owner's manual. And they're like, oh, crap, yeah, okay, here you go. And it's like half a foot. It's like 6 inches thick. It's ridiculous. And half of them don't even apply to my car anyways, which David claims is still the right thing to do, but I think it's stupid.
Yes, dear.
I want something that is only relevant to my car. I don't want to read about all these features that I don't have. I already bought this car. Like, I'm not going to be getting these other features because they're not in my car. It's ridiculous.
This is true. Yes.
Also, I think it's official. I have named her Setsuna. So my first car, the Skyline. I'm waiting for your cringe.
It's there. You just can't see
no,
it.
no, your eye twitched a little.
Twitching, really?
Yeah, this one twitched a
that's
little
not
bit.
intentional.
It happened though. It was great. I named him Darian, and that was the American name for Tuxedo Mask. Not Mamoru, because I grew up with the American ones, so Darian was the name. And I always liked that name, so I was like, this is perfect. And then the car I just sold, I named her Artemis. And yes, I made it a girl, even though Artemis on the show is a boy. My favorite Greek goddess is Artemis, so that was perfect. And for a little while, I was actually thinking of naming this car Luna or Diana, just to, just keep with the Sailor Moon theme, but also the Greek goddess theme. And then I was just looking through, and I was like, you know what? I love the name Setsuna. And then I Googled it for, Google Translate or whatever, and it said it translates to like a moment or an instant, which makes me appreciate the dedication and the consideration that she put into the character's name so much more, because Sailor Pluto has time powers. Like, that's amazing. I like it. But yeah, so her name is Setsuna. And everyone tells me my car will still be running when it has 300,000 miles on it.
Yes.
Which is a lot of miles.
This is a lot of miles.
I mean, Artemis never got to that.
No.
She didn't even get to a third of that.
Nope.
And I sold her, and I don't want her back. Sorry, I hate Ford. It is official. I will never deal with Ford ever again.
That's probably for the best.
So bad. All right, what's your dream car?
So for those listening at home, I currently drive a Scion FRS, or the Toyota 86, for those of you that know what that means.
It's orange.
Yes, it's orange.
I named it Apollo.
I kind of grew up with... My dad had a Porsche, and he drove a Lotus when he was younger, so I've always liked European or Japanese car aesthetics. So, since there's a lot of answers if you're a fan of cars, probably the most... I don't know, if I suddenly got a good chunk of change but wasn't hyper rich, I would probably get... I'm not sure. I mean, I'm obviously looking at an RCF, which is a Lexus. I would not mind a Porsche. There's a really cool looking Jaguar out there that's, by these standards, affordable. And yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else in that range. What am I forgetting? Probably.
I think you're forgetting the fact that you're over 6 feet tall, and you really want small cars.
No, it's fine. So, the next tier... If I make 7 figures plus or something, you hit Powerball, then I'm looking at either a BMW i8 just because it looks cool, even though I normally despise BMWs, or if money is no object, it's probably a McLaren. I don't know which McLaren, but it's a McLaren because those are really, really cool looking supercars.
Does it look like a DeLorean?
For a given value of yes.
You said and all I heard was and the closest word I could think of for it was a DeLorean.
Yes, dear.
It can travel to the future.
Yeah, well, I guess you wouldn't need to because you'd be living in it. No, I'm not a huge fan of Ferraris. I think Lamborghinis are overpriced doorstops, kind of ditto with Bugattis.
Wait, what is a doorstop?
As in, it's literally just a very, very expensive looking wedge. A doorstop?
I know what a doorstop is, but I mean, how do you correlate that to a car?
Because that's what it looks like. That is what it's
aesthetic. Oh, it actually looks like...
a wedge, yes.
It's got a teeny tiny front and a big fat booty?
Kind of, except if you round it off the back end of the doorstop. But yeah, no, it's...
That's weird.
It looks... Well, I mean, I'm being a little harsh. There have been some cool Lamborghinis, but at the end of the day, a Lamborghini is traditionally not actually a car for... I mean, not that I ever would if I somehow ever got enough money to have one of these, but I feel like if you're going to own a nice car, it should be able to be taken to the track and actually driven. And Lamborghinis are for show more than they are for driving. Ditto with Bugattis, but McLarens can actually do some work. So yes, I've always liked them. This is my completely unjustified, overly snippy car view. So yeah, zoom zoom. But you got a Camry.
Beep beep.
Yeah. You got a Camry.
Mine is newer than yours. Oh, by the way, when David got into Setsuna, he was like, "What? I'm comfortable. I can fit in this car. When I sit up, my head doesn't touch the roof." And then he was complaining that he is more comfortable being uncomfortable. And it's weird that he likes such small cars. But I guess that answers why, because he likes to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
I like to be comfortable in vehicles, especially when I'm driving. And Setsuna is very comfortable. And you're just very, very weird, handsome man.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I have a hard time getting into his car, and I am a foot shorter than him.
That's because you don't know how to do it.
I don't understand. 2 years later, I still don't get it.
Well, yeah.
Like, I always feel like I'm falling. It's so freaking low to the ground. It's ridiculous.
Angle, right?
No.
Go on in.
That's not how it works.
That's fine.
No.
You're overthinking it.
I don't want to fall and die.
You're not gonna fall.
That's what you think.
Yeah, but if you fall, you're already close to the ground.
Screw you. I'm closer to hell. That makes me more demonic. You remember that, sir.
Okay, interesting stance.
You've never heard that?
No.
Like, shorter people
You're
are
just-
closer.
nope, you're officially just
shorter
weird.
people are angry because they're closer to hell.
Nope, you're just weird.
You've never heard that?
Yeah, you made that up.
Okay, someone out there has heard that, right? It's not just me.
Yes, ask the microphone.
Oh, you know what? They answer things. I had someone agree that the
Agree.
toilet paper roll goes over, not under.
I don't believe you.
And no, you're wrong. I showed you the comment. You're like, oh, she's not talking about the toilet paper. And I was like, oh, well, what else did we talk about that could be over or under? He's like, I don't remember. So I win by default because he wasn't willing to go back and re-listen to the entire video to figure out something else it could have applied to. So I win.
Do you though?
Yes. Where would you rather be from? I mean, I'm a military brat, so from is really confusing. How do you describe where you are from?
I am from here.
Were you born here?
No, but I was born in California and we moved when I was like 5, so...
Do you have memories of your time in California?
Yes.
A lot, or just like kind of vague?
I have some, but it's not like it was a huge influence on my life.
Mm.
I mean, I I've probably 3 years worth. But I don't know. It's hard to like.
I mean, after those
Codify?
5 years, you've
Yeah.
been in Vegas since.
Yeah. Like so, like it's like why would I consider myself as from anywhere else? You know, I've been in Vegas for a majority of the time.
Mm. See, like, I have spent most of my life now in Vegas. But most of my childhood was not in Vegas. Like, my growing years, where I became who I am, were not in Vegas. So I can't really say that I'm from here. I've lived most of my life here, yes. But I can't really, let's say that I'm, like, from Germany. I was there for 6 months and then 4.5 years. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's really confusing. These questions are hard when you're a military brat.
I see.
Like, most people have a special place in their hearts from their hometown, but a lot of people would rather have been born somewhere else. Okay, so they're specifically asking where you were born. Would you rather have been born in Vegas over California?
It wouldn't have really mattered. I mean, like...
I would not have rather been born here. So, my sister and I were both born in Germany. My sister was born on a military base, so she was born in a military hospital. I was born off base in a German hospital, and my little brother was born in Colorado, obviously in an American hospital, because this is America. And my mom said,
This is America.
out of all of those pregnancies, the best one, the best hospital, was mine, the German one. You know, they took really good care of her, and just everything was really, really good. And I appreciate that to this day. Like, you know, they took care of my American mom. I like that. And then it's really interesting to tell people, yeah, I'm from Germany, because then, you know, that opens up so many things. People say, you know, like, oh, I've always wanted to go to Italy. And I'd be like, yeah, I've been there. You should definitely go. It's beautiful. So,
Yes.
it's at the very least, it's an interesting conversation starter to have.
Also, yes.
Mm-hmm. What songs have you completely memorized?
What songs haven't you completely memorized?
I mean, there are a lot of songs that I think I know all of the words to, and I definitely don't, because I hear things wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. Your hearing's perfect.
No.
No.
You're cute, but no.
Not actually true.
No. Mm-mm. I mean, the majority of the ones that I know I have the words correct on are probably Disney songs. I know Devil Went Down to Georgia by the Charlie Daniels Band. I almost said the Georgia Satellites. That is wrong.
What's a satellite?
It's the Georgia Satellites.
What's a Georgia satellite?
A band.
Interesting.
Charlie Daniels Band is the one that sings Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I see.
Do you, though? Do
No,
you?
not really.
I mean, I absolutely love Morning Rituals, Bad Moon Rising, and it's pretty simplistic, and I feel like I can hear them very clearly, so I think I know the words to that one. I don't know. I think this is a better question for you. Do you know all the words to any songs?
Sure.
Name one.
Happy birthday.
That does not count. You're cute, though, but no.
Oh, I don't know. Some of the Linkin Park stuff. Anything like Blink-182. Anything from high school. Probably some Jimmy Eat World songs. Not all of them, but some. Yes, some Disney songs.
Ooh, what Disney song? Oh, The Hunchback. Duh.
Yeah.
He loves The Hunchback of Notre Dame, you guys.
See?
And I appreciate that because I absolutely love the music from that movie. And I enjoy the movie. And my mom didn't like it. It made her sad.
Really?
So,
Why?
just because, she was like, he had such a rough life. And he didn't get the girl. And even though, like the little girl accepted him at the end by touching his face or whatever, he's still going to get ridiculed constantly. And it's just, she just feels bad.
Your mom has a really sad view of this.
Well, no, my mom's really empathetic.
Yeah.
So, like, she views as if he were a real person. And, like, I get that, too. Like, when they were throwing tomatoes at him, like, I cried for a while. Like, I was not okay with that. There were times I would fast forward through that point because I was just like, no, this is horrible. This isn't okay. So...
Fair enough.
What other songs do you have memorized? I don't know where we were going with that.
I don't really think I have. I can't name one off the top of my head if that's what you want. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Just, it gives them a good idea what kind of songs and genres you're into.
I'm into music.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not, honey.
Just 'cause you
I
ruin
am
music.
into music.
Just because you ruin it doesn't mean you're into it.
I am into music.
Nah.
No, honey. You're cute. You're trying. But no.
I like music.
Not as much as me. Not even remotely. Don't even.
I'd argue I like it more.
You would not win that one. Okay, so when we started dating, I know, I told you guys about the Kiss song with God of Thunder.
Thunder God.
It's God of Thunder, honey.
Yes, dear.
God of Thunder. I know you don't because you're not a real fan of music. Love you.
I like the music.
No.
Not the names of the songs, or the lyrics, or the bands.
Or the words, or anything. Or
Just
the
the
melody,
music.
or the tune. None of it.
So, I like the music.
It became clear, like, he had told me that he didn't really care much about music. Like, he doesn't really listen to it in the car.
Yes, I do.
You claim to listen to it when no one else is there with you. I have no proof of this.
Every time.
Every single time I get in the car with you, there's no music playing.
Well, yeah, because I'm talking to
Every
you.
single time. No. See, because you'll get in the car with me and I'll turn my music down.
Yeah,
But you can hear it when you get in, and I was listening to it.
So...
I never heard the music in your car.
No,
Not once!
I've only stopped listening to it because we've been re-listening to Dresden.
No, even back before the books.
Well, yeah.
Never.
Because I turn it off when we get in
never
the car.
Never heard it.
I literally, you can see my iTunes play, like, the play
I don't
counts.
believe
Well, amp, but whatever.
I don't believe you.
Why don't you trust
It doesn't
me?
matter. You straight up said you weren't a big fan of music, that you didn't really care. This is important, because the first time I met his mom, we ate dim sum, and a song came on, and I was like, oh, I really like this song. And his mom said something, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's so weird that David doesn't really care much about music. And she's like, yeah, I don't really either. And so when we got home, I was like, David, why didn't you tell me your mom wasn't a big fan of music too? Like, I thought we could relate and tease you about it, and instead I came out looking like an a-hole.
It's fine.
No!
You judge yourself too much.
It was the first time I met your mom.
Yeah, well.
And the first thing I do is make fun of you.
I mean, that's pretty much to be expected. I actually do like music. I just don't care about the... I feel like there's a lot of pomp and circumstance around music. Like, oh my god, did you hear... Like, especially in high school, it was all about the band members more than it was about the music. Like, middle school, that's where that all started. Where, because I was around when NSYNC and all them started, so you had all these girls fawning over boy bands, you had a bunch of guys over... And it was like, I knew one kid who was, heavy into rap and Eminem and all that, but it wasn't because he particularly cared one way or the other. It's just because he wasn't supposed to be listening to it. And like, so that to me is not about the music, that's about the bands. Like, my best friend is heavy into music, but there was definitely a period where I think he was also kind of like that, where it's like, oh no, they're popular now. And so, let me correct that, where I thought he was like that. Because he's like, oh no, they're popular now, I don't like them. And I'm like, oh, so he's the, patient zero for hipsters. Because he was a hipster before there were hipsters, so that's where it started. But no, like, as I've gotten older and listened to more music, I see what he's talking about, where, like, they had a certain sound, they had a certain style, they got
big
thing.
And then it changed.
Well, or rather... sometimes it stopped changing. Like, rather than doing a variety of songs, oh, these 3 songs did really, really well, and that's why our last thing blew up, so now we're only doing songs that sound like those 3 songs. And I get that. But I feel like for so many people, it's more about who the band members are and how hot they are and the stuff and, like... not about the music. I mean, like, I do acknowledge I obviously don't care as much as you about, like, the music either. Like, I can live without music in my car and whatnot.
Oh my God,
but
no.
I do think there's a lot of people who are like, oh my god, the music's amazing. I'm like, do you really care about the music, or do you just care about how cool the band members are perceived to be?
See, so I'm currently working on getting all of my songs together and editing the file names so that they show up properly in my car. And I was listening to Alex Newell's music. I know him from Glee. He played Unique. I loved his voice back then.
Who?
Alex Newell.
Which one was he in Glee?
The black kid that was transgender. He was later seasons.
Okay,
yeah,
I
I don't
probably
think
didn't see
you
it.
know.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have stuck in my mind. I remember... Who was the one that my ex liked? Puck?
Puck. Oh, he was cool.
Yeah, he was
Rachel
good.
Berry was my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm so bad.
Yeah.
I shipped her with Finn so hard, and then that actor overdosed. So
Yeah, that
ended.
I remember all that. Yeah. No, the show was...
I've watched it more than once. I think for the premise that's in it, I love it, and I really think everybody that they have hired for the show can sing. And I really liked that. It appealed to me on that. I don't know.
For what I saw, I didn't dislike it. You know, it felt like they did a good job with the music and whatnot. I heard it got worse, but I didn't. I was never watching it all that much anyway. So it's not like it was suddenly, and I wouldn't have cared. The one I heard a lot was Only the Good Die Young, because the ex really liked to play that one, and then it sounds good. He sung it well. And then can't remember too much else, but that one like stuck in my head. And, yeah, I have nothing else on that. I just, like, yes, Glee, I can talk to that. Yes, music.
Good job.
Noises from metals and woods.
You're so funny. All right, so Alex Newell, he has, I heard one of his songs at Ross, actually. It was Keep It Moving, and I fell in love with it. I love that song. It actually came on in my car like 2 days ago, and I just kept putting it on repeat because when it comes on, I love it. I love it. So yesterday I was like, you know what? That is the only song I know by him. I need to listen to other songs by him and see if I like more of his music or not. And you were out here when I was doing that. And I'd listen to like half of a song, and by then I would know whether like, yes, this is a song I want to hear more of, or I don't really care if I hear the song again. And so there were a couple where I was like, I'm not feeling that one. And David would be like, yeah, me either. I was like, oh, I like this one. And there was one where he's like, I'm not feeling it. And I was like, well, I'm putting it in my car. I don't care. I didn't do it for him. I listened to the songs and I picked out the ones I liked.
Yes.
So I have never been the type like, oh, I only care if they're good looking, because Alex Newell is not good looking to me. Like, that's not my personal type.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think that's more of
I don't go for that. I go for the music. I want the sound. If I like how it sounds, I want more. If I don't care how hot they are. I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, I think that's more of a high school, middle school thing. Although there's definitely who's the one who sang at the Super Bowl, who I feel is kind of overrated.
This year?
Maybe last year.
Adam Levine.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, we're gonna pause it because his phone's ringing. So yeah, I actually like music because I like music.
Yes, dear. I believe you.
Which means I definitely like it more than you.
Uh-huh.
Because I simply like more music than you.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, though?
Yes.
Or do you just think you do?
No, I know I do, honey. I know I do.
What's your view on the mountain goats?
I don't have a view on them.
How about Postal Service?
Nope.
Death Cab for Cutie?
Nope.
Midtown?
Nope.
I'm winning. Hold on.
Honey, how many bands do I know that you've never heard of Prince until a year ago?
Who?
Yeah. Okay, he's claiming to still not know who Prince is. So, screw you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see how
Sometimes you disgust me, handsome man.
Sometimes?
Sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Only sometimes, not
I
always.
have to try harder.
No, because that would be weird. I can't date you if you disgust me all the time.
I see.
Only some of the time.
Fair enough. So, what's next?
Next question. What would you rate 10 out of 10? Always a great question to get some good recommendations, and most likely some very good topics for conversation. Well, I think Roma Deli is my favorite restaurant. I would rate it a 10 out of 10.
I see.
I wouldn't rate you a 10 out of 10. I would rate you a 12 out of 10. So
Love you too.
you don't apply to this scale. You're too high for it.
I see.
The Michaels I worked at, I would rate a 10 out of 10 because the people there, well, not so much anymore because a lot of people have left over the years, but back then I would rate it a 10 out of 10 because all of the employees actually cared about their work and their customers, and just, it was, that's how it was. So I have to rate Madrivo like an 11 out of 10. Not as high as you, obviously,
I see.
but better than a 10.
I feel like there's inflation on this scale.
What do you mean?
I mean, almost nothing is less than a 10.
Oh, Ross is a 1 out of 10.
Okay, I see. There we go.
I'm assuming there has to be at least a rating. I can't do a 0 out of 10, because if I could, they would be a 0 out of 10. Or at the very least, the Ross I worked at is a 0 out of 10. Because just, no. Absolutely not.
Yes, dear.
Lord. Oy.
I was there.
No, you weren't. You never went to the one I worked at.
I was emotionally.
You were here. You got me after work.
Which was also with you very upset.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He had to live with me during that time, you guys. I'm so sorry, honey.
You were not a happy
Aren't you happy that I'm happy now?
Yes, dear, I'm happy that
I'm
can be
a
happy
much
you're
better
happy.
person to be around when I'm happy.
Like most people, yes.
Okay, but like, I'm not that different when I'm happy versus when I'm not happy, am I? Yeah?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah? Am I as bad as other people, though?
No, but you're still not.
Oh, I'm
you.
noticeably different. This is true.
You were like bummed almost every night and frustrated and tired and didn't want to do anything because you were depressed and angry. And I get it, like, it sucked.
Sucked so bad. So bad, you guys. So bad. Never go back there. If Ross ever wants to sponsor me, I'm going to tell them to F off. Or at the very least, I'll be like, okay, but I'm going to put a disclaimer at the end. Every Ross except for this specific store.
I see.
Okay, what would you rate 10 out of 10, Handsome?
I got a new pen that I like.
Tell them about your Goulet, or is it Goulet pen?
I mean, that's the company that sells all the brands. It's a specific brand.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what it's called. TWSI is the brand, I think.
Can you really rate it a 10 out of 10 if you don't even know what brand it is?
Yes, because I'm not a brand whore. No.
Kidding.
Yeah, I like my pen. I don't know. I like the keyboard I got recently. I really like most of my computery junk. What actually sticks out, though, is being
10 out of 10. Like, it could not be more perfect.
the Boba Fett Lego I got. No, Slave 1.
Slave 1?
That's the name of the ship.
Oh. And it's Boba Fett's ship?
Yes.
Why did you also get Leia, Han, and the It's a Trap guy?
That's not the It's a Trap
It's
guy.
not. I have no idea. I don't remember. He looked Cthulhu-esque, but I really... I don't remember. Didn't he have tentacles on his face?
He did.
Yeah, what is he?
I think that's Zuckuss or 4LOM.
Who the heck is that?
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
What one's he from?
He is technically on screen in the second movie and never talks.
Then why would they make a Lego of him and not the It's a Trap guy? He's a meme now.
They do make a Lego of the It's a Trap guy.
But why isn't he with that one?
Because he's not a bounty hunter.
Leia's not a bounty hunter.
No, but she was kidnapped by Jabba the Hutt.
Why didn't they make Jabba the Hutt then?
After they do.
In this particular one that you bought,
Boba
Handsome.
Fett captured Han Solo, who is his rival in the extra world stories that are no longer canon.
He doesn't have a single line. He can't have a name.
Who?
The guy, the extra figurine that you claim to know
Are you
his
kidding?
name.
Anyone who's had any second of screen time has at least several thousand pages written about them in the expanded universe.
Well, I don't have those, so
Yeah, well, that's because you're not a real fan.
I'm not. I admit that straight up. I don't give a crap about Star Wars.
Awful. Totally awful.
No. I want to finish Stargate. I've seen the first 3 seasons, and they are amazing.
I've been told I should watch Babylon 5 about 1,000 times.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I recognize the name, but I couldn't tell you what it's about.
I see.
Mm-hmm. What job would you be terrible at?
Sales. Actually, I'm okay-ish at sales, but I don't have the patience for retail, and that's coming as someone who did substitute teaching. Like, I can put up with children because it's okay that they're stupid, but when a grown adult is that dumb and rude, nope, thanks, no thank you, bye.
You know what? You actually have the answer to mine, which is teacher. I am not good at breaking things down and explaining them. I have tried, and I am not good at it. My brain does not work that way. I think the way that I think, and if you don't think the same way as me, it is incredibly difficult for me to get around that. Like, I can't. There is a block in my brain, and it just, nope, the buck stops here.
I see.
Mm-hmm. What are you absolutely determined to do? Complete 4 Heavenly Beasts.
I lack determination. It's a major character flaw.
You're determined to get a new car one day.
Yeah, but I'm not absolutely... I really, really, really want, by my standards, a new car. And I'm probably not going to buy one anytime soon.
But eventually you will.
One day the car will break. I wouldn't put that down as really determined. I am really determined to pass.
Pass what?
I pass on the question.
Nope. You said you're really, really determined to pass.
Yes.
There is more to that answer.
Passing the question.
Nope.
No, that was
Nope.
the joke.
Nope.
You don't like my joke.
Nope.
So
You said you were determined to pass. Determined to pass what?
No,
the next level in Mega Man?
Yeah, no, obviously not. Yeah, no, nothing super specific comes to mind. I will probably, like, you know, there's books I'll keep reading and whatnot, but I wouldn't strike that as, like, really, really determined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got nothing.
You tried, handsome. It's
really
it's
did.
the thought that counts.
Is it, though?
Kind of. Yeah, totally. What skill would you like to master?
I'd like to get better at coding still.
What skill would I like to master? So it's something I already am doing that I'm skilled at to an extent, and I want to master it. Painting nails. I'm not a master at that. But I have fun with it. I have different nails each week now. Crocheting, actually. There's only so much I can do, and I tend to do that same bricks blanket every single time because I absolutely love that pattern. Love how it comes out, and I love working with Bernat yarn. It's amazing. But it would be really cool if I was better at crocheting and if I could do more. Okay, what website do you visit most often? YouTube. Because I don't watch Netflix on Netflix.com. I watch it in the app.
Apparently,
If I watched it on the website, it'd probably be Netflix.
Apparently, YouTube and Reddit are my top two. So.
Well, oh my gosh, YouTube is your number one. I figured Reddit would be your number one. Wow.
I go to, well, it's just kind of like my habit where, like, I've got muscle memory where when I open tabs, I just open all of these tabs. And then, yeah, I'll browse YouTube while, like, the way I open up YouTube, for example, for music while I'm at work or when I'm just,
So he claims.
where I listen to music at work, yes, like Carpenter Brut and all that other techno nonsensey, what's it called, synthwave? I don't know. I just like it.
That's what counts.
And then, yeah, I also have been I open it a ton for work because, oh, hi, how do I do this video?
YouTube will tell me.
From 6 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would your perfect room look like?
Blue.
Yes, which we already have,
Yes.
so that's perfect. More dragons, however. Not enough dragons. Even with that huge fan at the entrance to the bedroom.
I see.
I immediately assumed bedroom for this. But I feel like for me, the perfect room would actually be a living room, because that's where I can display all of my stuff and have people see them. So, like, just a ton of entertainment systems or shrunks like this, just covered in dragons. Blue walls. Lots of dragons. All of the dragons.
Okay.
Do you have the hiccups?
Yes.
It's not me this time! Alright, what does your perfect room look like?
I don't even know. Like, a bed I fit in, hammocks.
Yeah, I was gonna say his would be a Wyoming king bed.
With hammocks.
With hammocks. Hanging from the ceiling.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hammocks are nice.
They are. It's true. They're nice. They're very nice.
With a lot of ports. Like, wall outlets.
He wants to hang them from the ceiling. And be able to control the cords better.
Yes. These are the important things in life, Liz.
To you.
Why are
Although,
you judging
I would
me?
not be against any of the things you have mentioned. Although, there was a distinct lack of blue, which I'm like, but that's okay. What movie title best describes your life? Ooh. Oh. Clueless. I don't think I'd go that far though. Wow, that is a really interesting question, actually.
That is. I don't have a good one though. Old boy.
You're not an old boy. Also,
tried.
don't compare your life to that movie ever again, please. Dear God, please. We don't look that much alike, all right?
Yes,
No.
dear. Love the idea.
Seriously? That is... oh, I could be really, really mean.
Mm.
You have to hold my hand while I say this one.
I see.
Beauty and the Beast.
I see.
I'm kidding, I love
And then
you.
she laughed at me.
You smiled. It made me laugh.
I see.
You know what? In this situation, you're the Beauty and I'm the Beast because
Uh-huh.
I made that comment and that makes
Yeah,
me
no,
ugly inside.
Good backtracking.
At least I'm trying.
You are trying, yes.
That is a really interesting question. I don't know though. Like, there's a videotape right over here that says monkey business. That's not bad.
Yes, dear.
Super bad is definitely not how I would title my life.
I have a weird collection of movies over there.
You have Sleepless in Seattle?
I do?
Yeah.
That's weird because I've never seen that.
Why do you have Sleepless in Seattle?
Someone probably left it. Like, that's how I have half of those, if not more.
That's a romance. Why do you have that? Okay.
Oh, how dare I have a romance
It's
movie?
it's weird, handsome man.
Why
It's
is it
weird.
weird? Why are you judging?
Because you aren't into them that much.
Judging. No,
Not that much.
I don't dislike them.
No, but you're not that into them.
Judgy.
It's a mad world.
Yeah.
House. I like that one.
That's not
That's a
movie.
show. Yeah, I will have to think about that later because I really genuinely like that question. What age do you want to live to?
Yes.
I mean, minimum of like 80 because yeah, I'm like, it can get a bit morbid, but it doesn't have to. Plus, it helps you to see how they view old age and their place in the world.
I see.
I've met some people who are like, "Oh yeah, when I hit 65, I'm just gonna kill myself." I'm like, why? Like, that's almost retirement age. That's when you get to just sit down and watch TV all day. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people who talked that kind of talk when they were like
When they
in
were
their
young,
20s.
yeah, because
I'm
they
like,
had no idea
yeah.
of what reality was like.
Well, not just that.
You
but
can
I'm
still
like,
have your mind at 65 years old. You would still have your mind at 100 years old. Like,
The thing I always found sort of dark humor in is, oh, okay, you're gonna talk that kind of smack about how, yeah, I don't care what I do to my body or, you know, what I'm doing now because I want to burn out fast and not live past 60 or whatever. But oh yeah, I want kids. Like,
oh yeah, your kids are really gonna appreciate
yeah,
that, aren't
you're
they?
totally gonna be able to just separate that from your just.
Yeah, people are weird. What kind of art do you enjoy most? Cross stitching, obviously. But second to that, I would probably say either movies or video games because I consider them art, especially video games. Like, the amount of work that went into, like, Breath of the Wild, for example, is freaking ridiculous. I played that game for hundreds of hours, right? I don't remember, though. I don't know.
A lot.
A lot of hours. And I didn't even, when I pulled up the view of where my character has walked for the entire time that I've played, there were still spots I had not gone to in that game. Like, you know, people, they had to do concept art for that, and then they had to digitize it, and it was mind-boggling. I love it. Type of art do you enjoy most, Handsome? Or is this where I'm supposed to say, like, modern art?
I don't know. Going kind of off of what you said, like, if we're talking, like, less traditional art, I really do think there's some beautiful pixel art out there, just, like, scenery or animations or whatnot.
We both really like, what is it, Sekiro?
Sekiro, yeah.
That game
Has
is
some beautiful stuff,
beautiful, you guys.
There's some crazy junk there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
fine. I can't think of anything else like off the top of my head. Anyways, like I like all sorts of different things. I've gone to museums. I like modern art. Well, some kinds of modern art.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the classical stuff. I like, well, like Fabergé eggs I would consider art, and those are some of the most beautiful things I've ever gotten to see.
You and I actually both really like the art from the guy who does Kill 6 Billion Demons.
Yeah.
I have 5 pictures, or well, posters of his framed and hung on our walls. And the level of detail in them, you know, like I can see one from over here, and I know what the picture's of. And I know if I walk over there right now, I can point out 5 things that I haven't noticed about it before. Like, there is so much detail. It's amazing. I interrupted you again, sorry, but it was relevant.
I agree. Like, so yeah, no, there's all sorts of art like that I like. I think that's it's a good list. Like, you know, I appreciate all different kinds of art.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. I also really enjoy music. Oh, I win. Next question. What takes up too much of your time?
You. No,
I take up a lot of your time. It's true. I love you.
True, yes.
I thought you were going to say work for sure.
Well, yeah, duh. It's kind of cheating.
Like, too much of your time. I mean, because, like, I don't feel like I give too much of my time to work. And I'm not the type of person... Well, no, I am the type of person to do that. But I really love my job right now. I don't want to lose it by working, like, off the clock, as I have done in the past. Which that I would consider definitely giving up too much of my time. I love cross-stitching. I know I'll sit down for, like, 8 hours at a time and work on it. And then, you know, I'll sit around for an hour with my boyfriend and do narration for them. But I don't feel like it's too much of my time because I enjoy every minute of it. I feel like when you say something takes too much of your time, it has to be something that you don't really enjoy, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Driving to work and from home and all of that.
Yeah.
I'd go with driving.
Yeah,
I don't dislike driving, but I mean, it'd be so much easier if I could just walk across the street and there was my work. I feel like I would save so much time.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else?
Not particularly. Not that I can think of.
What do you wish you knew more about?
Back to coding.
Accounting. Just like, because right now I don't feel overwhelmed at work. I feel like I definitely have enough on my plate that I can come in and know I will be working for the next 8 hours and I will have work to do. But even still, if I had more knowledge about it, it would still make it easier and it'd make, you know, everything would be more easily understood, especially more quickly. But I mean, honestly, if I had more knowledge about coding, that'd be really interesting because then when David talks about it, I would understand it more and he wouldn't have to break it down so much and compare it to so many things because he'll tell me things and I'm like, uh-huh. And he'll be like, okay, so imagine this. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I feel bad that he has to dumb it down for me.
No,
So, sorry.
Coding is coding. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all legit.
You just wish you knew more about coding?
No, I mean, I wish I knew more about tons and tons of things. I like learning a lot of stuff.
Same.
I'm very good at picking things up kind of quickly and getting into them, but I'm not great at staying diligent on them. So I have a large breadth of shallow knowledge, which, you know, not ideal in my opinion, but...
I mean, I know the saying is jack of all trades, master of none, but I still feel like that is still something to brag about. Like, having a good understanding of a ton of things can get you by better than, like, a perfect understanding of one thing.
Yeah, but, you know, it just kind of depends.
I wish I knew more about cars. That would be helpful. Problem is, I don't really find them interesting at all. Like, so many people are like, oh, what kind of car do you like? And I'm like, I like blue cars with 4 doors
Yes,
that
ma'am.
are reliable. Oh, hey, throwback to the first thing I said in this video. Ah! He's trying not to laugh at me.
Yes.
What's the best way to start the day? Waking up next to you.
Yes, dear.
You're never awake. And that's okay.
You're
'Cause
never
you're
there.
still next to me. Yeah, well,
So there.
that's because you wake up
Who's-
like 3 hours after me.
Who's roughing it now, huh?
I mean, I have to be really quiet and I have to work everything I do in the dark because I don't want to wake you up.
Who's roughing it now, huh?
Honestly, the truthful answer to this is having to pee. Or getting to pee. Because I always wake up and the first thing I have to do is go to the bathroom. Always. Never fails.
I believe you.
What mystery do you wish you knew the answer to? I mean, I've said it before, I want to know more about JFK and all that. But, what mystery do you wish you knew the answer to?
I don't actually know.
Like, I feel like the meaning of life is just not gonna work because I feel like the meaning of life is whatever you believe. Whatever you believe. What mystery do you wish you knew the answer to?
Jeez. D.B. Cooper would be kind of interesting. There's a whole bunch of little conspiracy theory or, like, whatever happened to things.
Oh, the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, that's kind of been...
it turns out as you get better communication, the Bermuda Triangle becomes less interesting because it's just about bad weather and...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but there are, especially some ships in the old days, like the, like
Oh,
disappeared
Amelia
or showed up.
Earhart.
I thought they found her.
Yeah, they thought. They couldn't prove it.
Yeah, and I always wonder how much that's true versus how much that's just like someone trying to make a name for themselves.
I mean, I like to think they crashed and then they survived and she got to continue on and live a happy life in a foreign country, but that's okay. If they took care of her, she's good.
Sure, Liz.
I'm trying to be optimistic, okay?
How's
I'm
it
usually
going for you?
realistic, and I'm trying. I'm not good at optimism. Yeah.
I think those are good lists.
How different was your life 1 year ago? 1 year ago was February 2019. So I would have just started working at Ross.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much different. It's so much better. Having a good place to work just makes everything better.
This does help, yes.
How about 2 years ago? We literally only had just made it official.
Yes.
I feel like not that much has changed. I'm still very happy in this relationship.
I'm happy in this relationship.
I still find you as attractive as I did the first day I met you, and we giggled and talked about Excel.
Yeah.
And you were like, God, what was it? You were like, oh, what do you prefer? It was like something or formulas, and I was like, oh, I like formulas, and you're like, fair enough. And in that moment, I was like, oh God, he's judging me, and the correct answer was not formulas. Crap.
Overthink much?
Yeah! Because I was like, I have to impress the hot guy. Like,
I see. Just panic constantly. Got
yes, that is me. And then Robert was like, oh, do I need to put you two in your own room so you can talk about Excel? And I was just like, oh, he sees something here, does he? Yes, okay.
Good to know. Good to know. A little bit weird, but good to know.
No, okay. I don't get crushes very often. Like, it's never really been, like, I don't know. I've only had a few crushes here and there in my entire life. And when I do get them, obviously, I get them pretty hard, because, yeah.
Yes, this is true.
I'm just saying, I wanted you, and now I have you, and I'm so happy. I love you.
Love you too, dear.
Love you more.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I do.
That's obviously wrong.
You're wrong. Okay, what's the best single day on the calendar?
What?
So, let's see. It could be a holiday, it could be an anniversary, it could be a birthday. Whatever it is, I'm sure there's a reason why they like it and are probably pretty pumped to tell you about it. I mean, I like my birthday. I don't know if it's the single best day on the calendar.
I feel like
I need to give that to Christmas. I like Christmas. What?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would say their birthday. I don't know, I kind of like New Year's, but that's just because I do. I don't have any, like, good reason for that.
Like, it's a holiday. It's enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
fireworks. It's the new year. It's the new you. Christmas is presents.
This is true.
Okay. What are some things you've had to unlearn? I've unlearned a lot of things about politics and my beliefs about them. Because I grew up one way with my family, you know, thinking one way, and I do not feel that way about a lot of things, so I had to stop thinking that way and unlearn stuff. Or relearn? I don't know how to explain that.
Yes.
My views have changed over the years. There we go. Unlearn. What else? Unlearn. I don't know. Do you have anything?
Not particularly, like, I can't... Well, I guess kind of how I interact with people. Not like I was a jerk or anything, but just, like, understanding how to best handle certain situations. Especially at, like, work. How to handle my own, like, mental health. Just, like, struggles with depression and things like that, so trying to get myself to not be, overly hard on myself, because it's really easy to just kind of tear yourself apart, and then it's like, you probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of book or movie? I adore fantasy, and I also love romance, so... Like, I feel like movie, I would pick fantasy, and book, I would pick romance. Because I've read so many romance novels. They're not my favorite books, but I've read so many. But I've also, like, I don't know, my favorite book series is Pendragon, which is not a romance. It's fantasy and action. There's a little bit of romance, but not a ton. That's not the main plot. And then my favorite movie is Clue, where it's comedy. Yeah, like fantasy, if it is, like, not realistic, I am drawn to it. I love it.
Okay.
What are your favorite genres?
I love Terry Pratchett, which is kind of like fantasy satire, I guess you could say. I really like detective-ish stuff. Like, I like well, it's weird because there's a certain kind of noir aspect to it, but I don't love the pulpy, stereotypical stuff, but I don't mind that in the stuff that I like, which is some weird in between. I obviously love science fiction. I have a bookcase of, Orson Scott Card, Brandon Sanderson, Jim Butcher. Well, he's not science fiction. I guess Sanderson's more fantasy as well, but, I like, some horror I really like really good horror. I think is very creative.
Movies.
House of Leaves is amazing.
I don't think I've ever read a horror novel.
You should read House of Leaves.
I'm reading Dresden right now, sweetheart.
Yeah, and the problem is you have to read House of Leaves. You can't listen to it. You have to physically read it. It's one of the only books that's actually that way, but you have to physically read it.
Wait, did they actually make an audiobook for it, though?
I don't care if they did. There's no way they could have done it right. Like, you must read it. A big portion of it is some of the stuff they do with the text and the way that they do things. And, like, it's a book that's designed to be kind of a bit of a mystery at the same time. It's hard to explain.
Mystery books I've read, but not horror.
It's a unique experience. I've got some Star Wars books up there. Oh, Gene Wolfe. He passed away, but he was really unique. He's kind of, his best sci-fi book is not obviously sci-fi. You would like read it and probably think it's mostly almost like a Tolkien sort of fallen fantasy setting, but it's actually technically sci-fi, and that the idea is it's so ridiculously far in the future that like society doesn't even know what all this junk is anymore, and so it's kind of just degraded. And the way they describe things are like, yeah, I just went into the building, and like if you really look into what he's writing, it's like, oh, that building is a rocket ship just sitting there next to a zillion other rocket ships. These aren't skyscrapers.
Wow.
It's a really interesting style, and I am like 90% certain you're not supposed to get it on your first try, but it is very interesting.
Okay. What's the farthest you've ever been from home? Let's see, from here, would it be Australia?
Probably.
Or would Japan be further? I don't know. How about you?
I would guess the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
Like, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, I got nothing.
What TV or YouTube channel doesn't exist but really should?
I would just like better shows in general, but
I would really like a TV... Well, is a TV channel... Or a TV show or a YouTube channel? Is that... How would you interpret that? Or an actual TV channel?
Sorry, say that again?
So it says, what TV or YouTube channel doesn't exist but really should? So do you interpret that as a TV channel, or is it like a TV show?
I would assume a channel that shows. So, like, if there was a channel that showed things I liked more, I would...
So, okay, I would like a TV channel that does a season, maybe even just like half of a season of like a book series, and they try to make it into a show. Like, I would love to watch a TV show of Percy Jackson. And I would love to watch a TV show that is faithful to it. I want a TV channel that tries to do a bunch of different pilots and a few more episodes. Because only one pilot isn't enough. I feel like you need to do a couple episodes more of just different book series. Like, they could do Dresden. I researched the TV show that did come out, and it's nothing like the books, so I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to tell David anything about it, so he's not going to watch it either. If there was one that was more realistic, that followed the books, that would be so cool. I would watch one for Pendragon. I mean, I'm sure they could make some out of the books that you like as well. Like,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
Yes.
Are you happy with your answer?
Pretty happy, yeah.
I'm very happy with mine. Wow. Where is the most interesting place you've been? Ooh. Interesting. I mean, I feel like it would probably have to be Japan, because their culture is so vastly different from the American culture, and that inherently just makes it interesting because it's foreign, you're not used to it, versus the European culture is a lot closer to the American culture because we were mostly colonized by Europeans, so that makes sense, versus Japan has mostly just been localized. And most people's experience with Japanese culture is through anime or manga. It's what they watch on TV and what they read. It's not something that they've gone over there and experienced themselves. So, yeah, if you guys have the chance to go to Japan, you need to take it. It is worth it. Where's the most interesting place you've been, handsome man?
I mean, I haven't been anywhere super interesting, I would say. I've been to fairly standard places, like obviously the Caymans are beautiful. I've been to Seattle, I've been to San Francisco, I've been to San Diego, I've been to LA, I've been to Salem, Utah. That was a little bit neat. Actually, Owensboro, Kentucky was interesting just because it was a nice small little city that, you know, not even a city. I'd probably call it a town. You know,
Nothing like Vegas.
50,000 people, nice community, great place, and it was just nice, you know, like, not much to say.
See, it's foreign to what you're used to. It's different from what you normally experience. And
Yeah.
that makes it inherently interesting. What fad or trend do you hope comes back?
Tamagotchi.
No. They'd actually made a comeback a few years
I
ago, and
remember.
it just everybody was still just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna feed it every day,"
And
and
it's
then they
dead by
forget,
the
and then
week.
it's dead. Yeah,
As is the fate of Tamagotchi.
yeah, that's sad.
I feel like if you can't raise a Tamagotchi, you shouldn't be allowed to have kids. Like, I'm not normally someone who's like, oh yeah, we need to stop people from blah blah blah. But that seems like a fair test.
You just have to push a couple buttons. It's so simple. I don't know. Like, all the fads and trends that are, like, coming to my mind are all ones I don't want to come back. Like, I don't want parachute pants to come back. I don't want crimped hair to come back. I don't want those, like, what are they? The pants that also have a skirt attached. Those looked weird. Those huge platform shoes that were... I think that was actually probably because of the Spice Girls, because they had those. I'm not a fan. Like, I don't know. I know one I really, really do not want to come back are those plastic sunglass-looking things that people get that are just lines straight across. I hated those. What was the purpose of that? Like, oh yeah, I don't want to know what you look like every other inch. Like, that's so stupid. I guess I have every other centimeter because it's really small. But, like, it was the stupidest thing! They were so ugly. That's stupid. I don't want one. I can't think of anything. Do you have anything?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not much for trends.
What city would you most like to live in? I mean, okay, so I've never been a fan of Vegas. Like, I've never really been a fan of any cities, honestly. I don't particularly care. But I will give Vegas this. No matter what time of day it is, you can find what you want somewhere here. This city does not sleep. Not really. I mean, you want donuts at 2 a.m.? You can get donuts at 2 a.m.
Well, like, okay, but to me, it's frustrating because I grew up here, and, like, it's not what it was. It used to be so much better.
See, and I have no concept of that.
Yeah, like, to you, it's all fine, but to me, it's like, oh my god, there used to be so much more. Whereas, like, the hotels, for example, like, just, like, there was always stuff open at the hotels in the old days, and now it's like, maybe there's something.
There's a Starbucks!
Yeah, like, or the cafes would always be open, or multiple different restaurants would be open. And now you're just kind of like, yeah, there's something somewhere, maybe. The Spring Mountain, our sort of Chinatown section, definitely is still open till like 3, 4, 5, 24 hours, whatever. But it is not what it once was. The housing market crash was a big, big problem.
I mean, that screwed up a lot of places.
Yeah, and we were definitely one of them.
People above us are freaks, you guys. I don't know what they do all the time, but they make a lot of noise. David thinks that there's
Platform
somebody up there
shoes.
who has weights, and they just drop them. I hate them. I hate them so much.
I see.
Oh, okay, so what city would you rather live in? Name a city in the Caymans.
I don't know, actually. I've always thought about this. Like, Seattle was nice. I could maybe live there. It's kind of like California without the California, but it's getting that way.
It's nice weather.
So we'll see if it stays that way. Gosh, what else? I don't know. Like, I have a hard time kind of putting all that together mentally, because it's like, I don't have a good word for it, but it's all, everything's trade-offs, you know, like what do you want, and I can't really think of anything that I really, really want out of where I live. I do love the fact that Vegas is open late, even if it's not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't live anywhere else that's like that. Like, New York is not the place for me.
Yeah, I've heard things about New York that frighten me. So.
Yeah, it's not... I wouldn't see it that way, but, like, I don't mind visiting New York, but I don't think I could live in New York.
All right. When was the last time you climbed a tree just for fun? That would be the summer before my freshman year of high school. I actually remember that.
Specific answer.
Yeah, it is, because I remember we lived on base here in Vegas, and my brother and I hung out with our neighbors. I want to say his name was actually Alex Garcia, something like that. I had a little bit of a crush on him for a little while. Then he turned out to be a douchebag, so... But we hung out with him and his two siblings. It was a girl. I think his name was Alexander and her name was Alexandra, which is just really horrible. And then their little brother, I don't remember anything about him. But they had a tree in their front yard that was perfect for climbing. And so we would always just climb it and just sit up there really high. And maybe it was also Alex, but we always went like the highest. We were the oldest, so we felt the most comfortable, and we had the longest limbs, so we could reach up higher.
I see.
But that tree was amazing. It's perfect for climbing. Your turn, go.
I was probably in high school, I was in high school, because there was a tree out in front of my grandmother's house that we would always climb, and that's when she passed away when I was in college, so I would have stopped after that, so yeah. Not much else to say. That's probably the last time.
Did you like climbing trees at all?
Yeah, if I were in better shape and it weren't socially judgmental.
I will say, I feel like I'm always too shy to climb up a tree, because I'm like, oh, people are going to stare and talk crap about me. But I remember walking the campus at UNLV, and there were guys who would do parkour there. And they would try, to climb the trees and, incorporate that in. And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, wow, they can get so high up that tree. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I did not think anything bad about them. But I'm always worried that if I were to do that, people are like, oh, what's that stupid girl doing in the tree? She should get down. What's wrong with her? So, it's just me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
What do you consider to be your best find?
You.
Love
you too.
That was so good. Oh my gosh. I can't follow that up with what I was going to say.
Which was? Which dragon, Liz?
Yes!
Which dragon was it?
I was going to be like, which one? I was literally that's what I was doing. You saw me. I was starting to turn, and then you were like, you, and then you stopped me. If you hadn't said anything, I would have been like, what one? Fudge. Yours was so good.
Love you, dear.
I can't follow that up. Oh my goodness. Oh, love you.
Love you too. So that aside.
What? No, you can't do that. No, I'm kidding. Continue. I really do like the dragon I have over here by the Pokemon Cross Stitch with the sword in it. That is amazing.
What do I have that's even hard to find? So much of my stuff is just like you go online and you type in.
You know what? The Dota poster I found, that one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I looked at so many, and it was almost getting to the point where I was going to make my own and then go and have it professionally printed. And then I found that one, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. It may not have every single character, but it has the majority of them. And lo and behold, I got it framed, brought it home, and David was like, oh, I've played this character, I've played this character. Like, I took a video of him pointing at them and talking about them. So that was a really good find.
Yeah. I do like the keyboard I got, which pretty out there as far as things go. Yeah, like the problem with these questions is always like, we record this and then like 2 days later, you're like, oh, I should have said blah.
See, the nice thing about this, I'm gonna have like 200 days worth of footage or of 4 heavenly beasts that we can narrate. So in 4 weeks, when you think of a better answer, you'll be like, hey, you guys, remember when I said this for this? I should have said this. And it counts.
I see.
I don't know. What things have you said that you thought you had a better answer for?
I can't think of that right now.
You're so funny.
That's a good find, right?
Yes, your couch was a good find. Except for the fact that it is not good anymore.
No, it's really not.
It's coming apart.
I need a new couch. I should really figure that out.
Well, no, we need to do the bed situation first.
Yeah, that too. Also, yes.
Okay. What is special about the place you grew up?
It's a tiny town that's no longer tiny or irrelevant. That's about all if you're talking about where I was born, I guess where I grew up is Vegas. Vegas is special because it's a giant city that is well known for its tourism industry.
And gambling. And prostitution.
Yeah. Well, Vegas doesn't have prostitution.
Well,
Legally.
Nevada does.
Yeah.
In parts of Nevada it does.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the place you grew up. Okay, so we'll in this
Yeah,
scenario.
Army brat, go.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Air Force, right? Sorry, I meant to say military. I don't know
You
why
are
I said Army.
excused, sir.
Love you
Army
too.
brat. Now that is not me saying I don't like the Army.
Backpedal.
No, because I've already had this conversation on my YouTube channel. People know this. I hate when people compare the branches of the military because they have to work together. And yes, most people have their preferences, but they still have to work together. My dad has never regretted joining the Air Force, but he has had to work with the Army. He has had to work with all these other people. And I hate when people are like, oh, the Air Force sucks, Army all the way. Because it's like, no, the Army has to work with the Air Force. That's so stupid of you.
Yes, dear.
I'm not an Air Force brat. I'm a military brat. Doesn't matter what branch my dad had joined, I would still have traveled around the world, for the most part. All right, so I was going to say probably Germany, because that was 1st through 4th grade, and I have very clear memories from that. My memories from Colorado they're mostly vague. They're a lot shorter, less details, more fuzzy. So so I grew up on Bitburg then. I don't remember if that's an Air Force base or an air base. It's been way too long. But I mean, it's in Germany. That's pretty friggin' special to me. I don't know. I don't like these questions. What age do you wish you could permanently be?
25.
I was gonna say 24. So yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to go back to like 18. Because although yes, that was probably when my body was the best. I feel like I still need that mental growth that comes with making it past 18, 19, 20, 21.
I still want to be able to get into a bar.
Well, I mean, I don't know. At 18, you didn't look like you were over 21. You're so tall. I feel like that would work in your favor.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did. I didn't get carded forever once I got
My mom still gets carded.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah. Good for me, too. I'm going to look like that for a long time.
Yes, dear.
But yeah, no, I think 24-ish would be nice. What's worth spending more on to get the best? Car.
car, computer.
Computer.
Although knowing how to spend on a computer is really hard because, like, there's lots of people who'll tell you, oh, you should build your computer. And if you can, you should. But it's foolish to pretend that everybody can or has the time or the inclination. It's not that hard, but it's definitely a, do I have the time to do this? And it's not, it's tedious. There's a lot of like, oh, I'd have to do this and I'd have to do that. And the build itself isn't that hard. It's just shopping all the parts kind of sucks. Computers, what else?
Whether it's food, clothing, or something else entirely, this question will get to the heart of what they value most. Or at least give you an idea of something to upgrade in your life.
Keyboards.
Food, I like cheap food, so I'm okay with food.
I believe in fancy food, unlike you. Well, to be fair, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's good. Like, I went to a decently expensive place last night for a consultant dinner with business people and blah, blah, blah. Standard schmoozing thing. And, you know, by the standards of expensive restaurants, we're talking $50 a person, which is definitely pricey and expensive, but not... I mean, I've been to places or seen places that are talking like $100 to $300 a person.
Oof.
And I preferred this meal to several of those places because it was just good, you know. But there's a definite difference between a steak at a place like this, well, a ribeye in this case, and a ribeye at, like, I don't know, Claim Jumper, Outback. Not that those are bad, but there was a noticeable...
Good.
Yeah, paying the extra bit is, in my opinion, if you can afford it, worth it. That said, it would be the first thing I would drop if we came on hard times. It's not like I need it to live, you know? Or that I'll hate the other one. Like, it's not like I'll turn my nose up at something else, so... Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That is the end of 4 Heavenly Beasts Day 5. I got 6 hours and 35 minutes of footage, and I'm almost done with the first page. It looks wild. I really need to see if I can get that program, because this is crazy. I mean, I'm getting there slowly but surely, and it looks like I'm averaging around 6.5 hours each day, so not too bad, but it's very, very low for me. I usually get like 8 hours or more. And I keep having to fuss with the webcam because every once in a while I get close enough and I have to turn on the light really bright and it does that fuzziness. So I don't remember the other webcam doing that, so I might whip it out and see if it does the same thing. But if it doesn't do 1080p, whatever. It's 8:30. I need to shower and go to bed because I have work tomorrow. So like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.